in a powerful coastal kingdom in West Africa. In what we now call Nigeria, a young boy trained not for war, but for leadership. Ayeni, son of a wise king and a fearless queen. He learned diplomacy from his father, strategy from the generals, and the sacred stories of the sea from his mother. But greed travels faster than honor. European merchants, hungry for gold, hungry for bodizin, made secret alliances with rival warlords. One night, the village burned. Flames swallowed homes. Steel clashed against steel. Screams replaced songs. Ayeni watched his father fall, defending the gates. He watched his mother cut down beside him. He tried to fight, but he was 16, and chains are heavier than courage. That night, Prince Ayeni died, and something else was born. Dark hull. Hundreds packed together. Salt, sweat, blood. The slave ship was not a vessel. It was a floating grave. Ayeni studied everything. The gods, the routine, the weakness. One day the ship stopped at a deserted island for fresh water. That was when he noticed. His wrist chain had not been locked properly. He said nothing. She waited. Midnight. Rain falling lightly. He slipped free. Silently, he grabbed a fallen blade near the supply deck. One god. Two gods. Three. By the time the alarm sounded, it was too late. Ayeni did not hesitate. By sunrise, the beach was painted red. Every crew member was dead. He returned below deck. Cut the chains. You are free, he said. Some ran into the forest. Saw me, wept, saw me knelt. And some said, Lead us. That morning, a pirate crew was born. They did not raid fishermen. They did not steal from villages. They hunted only slave ships and merchants who trafficked human souls. Cannons fire, chains break, gold redistributed to poor colonies. Freed slaves returned home. His legend spread. Some called him demon. Others called him savior. But one truth remained. If you carried chains across the West Africa seas, Captain Ayeni was coming. A large plantation owned by the most brutal slave merchant in the region. Ayeni and his crew strike at noon. But this Chimi, it was a trap. Gunfire erupts from sugarcane fields. Hidden soldiers swarm. His crew fights fiercely, but they are outnumbered. Ayeni shouts, retreat. As they escape through the slaveholding area, he sees her tied to a wooden pole, skin marked by whips, starved. But her eyes, unbroken. Their eyes meet. The crew yells, Captain! Now he hesitates, then turns back, cuts her ropes, carries her through gunfire, and leaps aboard the ship as bullets strike the wood behind him. 3 days at sea. She heals slowly. Her name was Aro. She spoke gently, but there was something ancient in her presence. Ayeni found himself unsettled. The man who had faced cannons without fear now struggled to speak when she looked at him. For the first time, his heart was not filled with revenge, but Hopi. Morning fog. Lookout screams. War ships on the horizon. 12 naval ships. Cannons aimed. Noise copy. Ayeni gathers his crew. We fight. Then he turns to Ra. For the first time in my life, I wish I could have been more than a pirate. I would have built you a kingdom instead of a battlefield. She steps forward calmly, walks to the edge of the ship. Wind begins to rise. Her eyes turn white. The sea shifts unnaturally. Her voice deepens. She sings in a language older than maps. The ocean answers. Waves tower like mountains. Whales breach violently. Ships collide. Cannons sink. Men scream within minutes. The fleet is swallowed whole. Silence returns. Only their ship remains. The crew kneels in fear and appreciation. Ayeni approaches her slowly. "What are you?" she replies softly. "My mother is a sea goddess. My father was a fisherman. I commend the ocean. But each time I use my power, I lose a piece of my humanity." Ayeni drops to one knee. "Marry me." She smiles. "Only if you stop being death. Become life." Instead, he must abandon piracy. Build instead of destroy. He looks at his ship. The cannons. The swords. Then back at her. Done. The wedding. Massive coastal celebration. Drums. Fire dancers. Ocean calm and glowing. As they marry the sea, gently rises and falls, blessing them. He disbands the crew. Some cry. Some understand. He sells the ship. Uses the gold to start legitimate trade. Builds a port town, safe for freed slaves. Becomes a respected merchant. The same Europeans who hunted him now trade with him. Some years later, their children playing by the shore. Ayeni older, sometimes at night. Whales gather near their home, and the ocean glows softly. Some men conquer the seas, but only one married it, Captain Ayeni, and they lived happily ever after.